Okay, this is Steve. Sitting on the end of RDoc R73. This would be the year I went on the Grand Tour and surfed the coast of Morocco and did all kinds of things you'll hear about later. But this is the 13 square talk, 13 square, and this is, call it 13 square. It's kind of the T-square like you have in essentially the iconography of the Knights Templar and in engineering and in drafting, and it's how to make something proper, you're using a square just like you're measuring twice and cutting once. And this is a Knight Tap, or KT, like the KT boundary dinosaur line in the sand back about 70 million years ago, where below the line dinosaurs, above the line no dinosaurs. And I'll call it the Paleogene, I'll call it the Peter Gabriel, the PG, kind of the line in the sand he's talking about in J'y Sans Frontières, the Games Without Frontiers song that's so indicative of what we've been doing to each other for, I don't know, 8,500 years since we've been farming, is crossing over the line and peeing on your side of the line and not letting anybody over, just to guard the corn crib and keep the girl safe. And it's kind of messy, but it's the way it's been since farming. And the KT is also deep code for our Knight TapOut. And a TapOut, in my experience back 50 years ago when I was in scouting, was a leadership TapOut where you sat around a big fire with the drums beating and all of the elders dressed in headdress, and there was no politically correct back there. We just did the best we could to try to simulate what the indigenous peoples of the western United States, the whole United States, did when they got serious about something. And this was about tapping out leadership within the different troops of scouts that were assembled there, and you ended up getting a whack on your shoulder and then two more whacks after that. It was a whack and then it was a whack. And you were gone from your troop, and you had to sleep in the berries and the bushes and on the side of a hill and eat gruel and wear a wreath. And if you spoke, you weren't allowed to speak for 2 days, kind of a 12-year-old version of, I don't know, boot camp in the military. And you had to clean horse shit, and you had to do all kinds of things that you didn't want to do. And if you spoke, they shoved the reef in your mouth for 4 hours, made you think about it a little while, and gave you some more gruel. It was not fun, but it was a leadership trial by fire experience that was, in some respects, meant to prepare the scout, which was the young version of a military person, a military leader, for boot camp someday, another 5, 6, 7, 8 years down the road, if you chose to go that path. And it was empowering, and it challenged your ability to control your need to speak and ask questions and do things. And did you work? And were you able to get any sleep on that 30-degree hill that had all these cacti and berries, and it was a mess? And it was just interesting. And so this is also a leadership tap out, and it's really not, you can call it a pitch, you can call it a proposition, you can call it anything you want from the marketing world. We have lots of names for it, but I like to call it a Knight Tap because it is about building a knightship of knights of the realm, of Regalian Knights. Look that word up, Regalian Knights. And we aren't customers of each other, we aren't joint venture partners of each other, not in the traditional sense. We are knights of the realm, and we operate as sovereigns, and that means we do what we want to do within a certain set of criteria for how we treat each other and how we treat nature, and how we take very seriously the difficulties that our own species is experiencing now with trying to figure out how we take care of this planet or otherwise move forward with all of the challenges that we face from 8,500 years of farming and all that entails. So there's 13 positions, there are 13,000. I picked this number after really, really careful consideration over way too long a period. Mea culpa, oh well, it is what it is. This is the number. And the 13 squared is essentially, you're talking about 169,000, not a very large number compared to Mark Zuckerberg's $1.5 million every single hour last year, including holidays, evenings, weekends, when he was throwing up in the toilet because he had too much to drink, when he's having whoopee in the back room with 3 girls, maybe or maybe not 3 guys, whatever, when he's bored in the boardroom, 1.5 million an hour. It's not that number, but it's all we need. I could sell this for 100,000 or 500,000. That's worth a whole bunch more than that. I'm not going to admit that if the SEC comes calling, but 13 people, 13,000, and we have a base that we go next to 13 people at 26,000. Guess where they're going to go? Right underneath the 13. And guess what's going to happen to the money that you carefully and with due diligence and patience and asking yourself the right questions and looking at my work, looking at 35 years of marketing work and who I'm associated with, made the decision to be part of this. It all just came back in a week or 2, and now you're in the black. And the house did it, not you, except you kind of suggested maybe we ask this person. That's it. Just an invite process. That's all recruiting has ever been, is getting the invite procedure down and inviting the right person to the right thing. Those are the 2 things. It's got to be the right person. It's got to be the right thing. And then it goes boom. And then once the second 13, that's just 26 spots. Now we go to 52,000. That's the Stratofortresses. I'm in Seattle here. Ballard is part of Seattle. That's the Boeing Stratofortress level. And that's not the top. The top's the Wicked 97. We're not even talking about that right now. We'll talk about that at 39 or on a major yacht talking around the dinner table, which will probably be large enough for 39 on a vessel, a big one, over 100 foot. So this is the 13 square tap out. We're going to build 13 major players under each of these 13. And some of them are going to come from our ranks, and some of them are going to come from the people who are invited by each of the 13, both. And you can sit back and essentially be a silent partner and watch the house go to work. The house has crazy power, millions of Twitter followers, hundreds of thousands, if not hundreds, tens of millions of people on our one step removed lists of our friends and partners that the house is associated with over the last 15 years of marketing or more. I've been doing this almost 40 years. We know people. We know people with really large lists. We know people who know big people. So the house is going to be a formidable recruiter in this. I've built million-dollar businesses on both sides of the internet marketing, network marketing aisle over the last 35 years, and I know some people, like about 2,500 millionaires and multis, I call them multis, on my Skype, on my Facebook, on my Empire Avenue, on my almost 4,000 now, LinkedIn, that's a big place, and so forth. So I don't even bother with a list. I just have thousands and thousands of people on these really kind of close worm group, we call it, or short list. A lot of these people I know their cell phone numbers, and I Voxer with them, and etc. So many of them I help get started. Some of them have made 100 million, 200 million. One of them's 300 million so far, last 10 years. So it's a big, powerful clan or segment we're tapping into these whales. And we're going to demonstrate whale mimetics, which is the first letter in William. It'll be Prince William Sound. It'll be Prince of England. William is a very, very big. Bill Clinton, William Jefferson. There's just a lot of WMs. It's the woman on the front. That's the Mayan prophecy. Women first, man at the end. Man at the very end. And WM stands for whale mimetics. That's getting the whales hunting each other. And I'm not talking about the Mississippi here. I'm talking about players, hitters, people with soil. We call it soil hunting, which is sphere of influence leverage. Sphere of influence leverage. Looking for whales, hunting other whales. And it hasn't been done very much in this space over the last 125 years. This is it. This is whales hunting whales, a whale feeding frenzy. And it's going to get really interesting when the whales finally wake up and smell the Starbucks. That's another place here in Seattle. And get busy just making phone calls and sending out a $5 lumpy package to one of their friends. In fact, the house does that. That's on one of my other videos. Off it goes. Here comes the money. Get busy. Go find somebody else. It's mostly just a vetting process. And this is not just a night ship, but it's also a yacht club model where it's invite only. This is not one size fits all, and this is not for the little people, the sheeple. I call them the sheeple. This is for whales. This is a whale enclave network, and you're going to only be around whales in it. That's why the price is where it is. That's not even a top tier price. We have several top tiers I've been involved in that were twice that. We're not going there on this round because we don't need to. This is going to lay in a half a dozen really amazing yachts worth a whole bunch more than is coming in the door, and that's going to make the thing go boom on the next round, and then the next round it gets crazy. It's going to be fun. It's going to be an interesting July. I'm not even going to speculate what the numbers are going to end up at, but it's going to be a very, very wacko number just for July. And then August, August is going to be even crazier. So if you have a little bit of scratch and you know a few people who are hopefully not sending this to anybody who doesn't, who are interested in those four beneficiaries: oceans, land habitat, forests, water keepers, river systems, and then the kids that are going to die again tonight, all 25,000 of them, while nobody pays a whole lot of attention because nobody knows what to do. Here's something that you can do. And then the pets, the no-kill. Come on, let's not slaughter 10 million people, 10 million people, 10 million soils. Let's not slaughter 10 million doggies, kitties, snakes, horses, birds, just because they're in the way. That just doesn't make any sense. That's not a sentient creature, in my view. It's just not. So let's stop doing that. How about the Bob Newhart? Stop it. Just stop it. Go watch the Bob Newhart video. It's awesome. Takes 5 seconds. Stop it. Check your premises. Go back and do something different. This is different. This is way off the charts maverick. This is not like anything you've ever seen in business before. We threw all the rules in the crapper. I got a video about that, and we started over with all new ideas, new memes. This is money-getting memes, money-getting memetics. Getting is a whole bunch easier than earning or slaving or making. We don't use any of those words. We just use getting. It's like picking it up off the floor. Here's another 13 large. Here's another 50 large. Not that difficult. Ride the snake. That would be the fiber, bottom of the world's oceans, that makes all these things free. Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube. Without the snake, nope. 15 billion a year, Mark Zuckerberg, nope, not without the snake. Snake's back. This 1,500 years, the Mayans said this old white guy's going to come back. That's not me. That's Gandalf the Grey. That's lots and lots of people that were born year of the snake, like I was in 53, in 41, in 65. And some of the older ones of us are turning white and turning gray. And they're the ones that are going to just run roughshod over this because they already have money and they're all pissed as hell at what's happened to their planet, and they want to do something. So the grays, that would not be aliens, although all of us are alien. Everything in this star system came from somewhere else, so it's all alien. What's this alien invasion stuff? We're all alien. Come on. You know, even the rabbits are alien. Give me a break. So that's the 13 square, and it's going to be fun. This is all about fun, people. This isn't about anything but fun. It's about sex. It's about selling people their own brain chemistry. And if you get that right, well, you're rich. I don't know how rich. It's just dependent upon how much you do it, how you scale it up. But you're going to make money differently than you've ever made it before in your whole life and anybody you've ever known before, because this is a bigger lever. It's a much, much bigger lever than you've ever seen before. That's the 13 square top.